Have you ever noticed something strange? Sometimes, you don't quit when things are impossible. You quit when you're actually getting close. You've studied for weeks, then suddenly stop. You've worked on a project for months, then decide it's pointless. You've been exercising consistently, then one morning you think, what's the point? And the strangest part? You often quit just before things start getting better. But what if that isn't a lack of discipline? What if your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do? Imagine you're climbing a mountain. At the beginning, you're excited. The goal feels new. Every step feels meaningful. But halfway up, something changes. Your legs get tired. The excitement disappears, and the summit still looks impossibly far away. Your brain starts whispering, maybe this isn't worth it. Maybe I'm not good enough. Feel like your own decisions. You believe them, but there's something happening underneath. Your brain is constantly comparing the effort you're spending with the reward you're receiving. And when the reward is far away, your brain starts looking for an escape. This is one reason immediate rewards are so powerful. Checking your phone gives you something instantly. Watching another video gives you something instantly. Eating your favorite food gives you something instantly. But studying for an exam, building a business, learning a skill, getting stronger, those rewards may take weeks, months, or even years. Your brain doesn't naturally love that waiting period. It wants evidence that the effort is paying off.
And when it can't see that evidence, it starts creating a story.
It's not working. I'm wasting my time. Maybe I'm not meant for this. Here's where things get dangerous. Because the moment you feel like quitting is often the moment your brain is trying to protect you from uncertainty. Think about someone starting a YouTube channel. The first few videos get almost no views. They keep uploading. 10 videos, 20 videos, 30 videos. And then one day they think, I'm done. So they quit. But they don't know something. They may have been one improvement away from creating a video that finally connected with people. They weren't necessarily failing. They were simply experiencing the uncomfortable period where effort comes before visible results. And this happens everywhere. A student studies for months, but doesn't see the grades they expected. Someone applies for dozens of jobs and starts believing they'll never get hired. A creator spends months improving their videos while the audience barely grows. A person tries to change a habit and slips once, then decides they've failed completely. The brain loves a clear conclusion. If something feels difficult for long enough, it becomes tempting to label it as impossible. But difficulty isn't always evidence that you're going the wrong way. Sometimes, it's evidence that you're in the middle of the process. And there's another psychological trap. The closer you get to something meaningful, the more you have to lose. At the beginning, failure feels small. Nobody expects much from you. But as your goal becomes real, the possibility of failure becomes more painful. Suddenly, quitting can feel safer than trying and discovering that you weren't capable. So, your brain offers you an escape. Quit now, and you won't have to find out. That's why procrastination isn't always about laziness. Sometimes, it's about avoiding an uncomfortable emotion. Fear, uncertainty, disappointment, even the fear of success itself. Because success changes expectations. If you succeed once, people may expect you to succeed again. And your brain knows that. So staying in the familiar can feel safer than stepping into the unknown. But here's the important part. You don't need to feel motivated every day. You need to recognize the moment when your brain starts negotiating with your goal. That moment when you suddenly want to change direction. That moment when yesterday's dream suddenly feels stupid. Don't immediately obey that feeling. Pause. Ask yourself one question. Did the goal become wrong? Or did the process simply become uncomfortable? That question can change everything. Because sometimes you really should quit. A goal can be wrong for you. A strategy can be broken. A path can need changing. But quitting because you're temporarily uncomfortable is completely different. The next time your brain says, this isn't working, don't automatically believe it. Look at the evidence. Measure your progress. Change your strategy if necessary. But don't confuse slow progress with no progress. Because success rarely announces itself before it arrives. Most of the time, it looks like repetition, boring days, tiny improvements, doubt, and a moment when almost nobody believes in what you're doing. Then, eventually, something changes. Not because you suddenly became a different person, but because you stayed long enough for your previous efforts to finally become visible. So maybe the question isn't, how do I never want to quit? Maybe the better question is, when I want to quit, how do I know whether it's wisdom telling me to stop or fear telling me to escape? Because sometimes the door really is closed, but sometimes you're standing one step away from opening it, and your brain is trying to convince you to walk away before you ever turn the handle.